Hello, everyone. Welcome to another executive talk from the Wireless Broadband Alliance. I'm Tiago Rodrigues. I'm the CEO of the WBA. And today I have the opportunity to talk with Geordie Hagerman, already a veteran on the wireless and Wi-Fi industry, to cover a very innovative topic that is the Wi-Fi Motion. Geordie is Executive Vice President at Cognitive Systems with the responsibility to make Wi-Fi Motion an innovation and a commercial success around the world. Welcome, Geordie. Good to see you. Yeah, just let me know, how are you?
I'm doing well, keeping well and locked down, and it's good to talk to you today, Tiago.
Yeah, it has been challenging times, but I'm pretty sure Wi-Fi has been make us our lives easier by connecting us, all of us, and even the example of today conversation, we can do it over Wi-Fi.
For sure, yeah, no, it's making everybody's lives easier and adapting to the new times.
No doubt about it. But let's jump into this innovative topic of Wi-Fi motion. So please share with us what is Wi-Fi motion and what are the benefits of this technology.
So at a very high level, Wi-Fi motion turns Wi-Fi devices into motion sensors just using software. So as you can see in this image, what Cognitive does is we provide software that is implemented on access points or residential gateways, and we leverage the Wi-Fi connected devices in your home and turn those into motion sensors. And then we can understand when and where the location of that motion is happening. So as you can see on the right, we have an example of our end user application, which provides a live view of where motion is happening and the location of that motion happening in the home. And that unlocks a whole bunch of new applications that can be used and can be brought to market.
Yeah, fantastic. Fantastic, Geordie. And this is already available in some equipment, correct?
Correct. Today we have over 37 ISPs that have deployed Wi-Fi Motion for home security in a product that we call Home Aware, which basically is providing notifications of unexpected motion when you're away.
Yeah, fantastic. You mentioned, Geordie, several use cases. So could you elaborate a little bit just to educate not only myself, but the entire audience about which applications are more used to using Wi-Fi motion?
Well, there's several applications that can be brought to market, and the first is around home monitoring and home security, which is the product I mentioned is in market today with 37 ISPs in the US and Europe. But there's a number of other applications that can also be brought to market. And the next one is really building on top of that foundation of understanding when and where motion happens in your home and providing family insights in terms of what's happening in terms of activities in the home. So it allows you to understand patterns and activities holistically of what's happening with family members in your home. So for example, I have a young family and a son, and I like to understand the sleep disruptions patterns throughout the week. So I can see if he's been up at 2 o'clock or 4 o'clock wrestling in his crib and understand those disruptions. And we also have a woman in our office who lives alone, and she uses the system to monitor when maintenance workers come into her condo. So it's just peace of mind at the end of the day and understanding overall trends in terms of patterns and activities in your home. In addition, there's also the ability to enable new smart home use cases through Wi-Fi Motion. So for example, you can turn on your lights, your coffee maker, and adjust your thermostat, all based on Wi-Fi Motion activity.
Yeah, definitely super interesting. Well, I don't have any more young kids, but my teenagers, I can control them and understand what they are doing around the house. Fantastic. You mentioned elder care. So that's another quite relevant topic because, yeah, at least I will talk by my experience. My parents and my family somehow These type of applications can be very interesting for a large community.
For sure, we're bringing to market elder care product later this year that's called Caregiver Aware. And now more than ever, caregivers are looking for ways to help their parents age safely in place. So our product is really focused on providing peace of mind and insights on the well-being while respecting the privacy and dignity of the senior. So there's a number of things that we do, but we're leveraging that base Wi-Fi motion technology in your home through software and monitoring behaviors and changes to identify risks before critical events happen. So, for example, I will want to know if there's alerts of no motion to check on if my mother is awake and well in the morning, or also changes in behavior. So alerts of activity that of abnormal low activity that's happening over a specific period of time to facilitate honest conversations with your elders. And then also alert of sleep interruption. So if you see a trend in over kind of a 30-day period where there's a lot of increased activity at night, maybe visits to the bathroom, that can be an early indication of things like urinary tract infections. And so you can proactively start to have honest conversations with your parents. I have aging parents, and sometimes those are hard conversations to have. But this is just giving you the data to analyze trends over time and facilitate those conversations so actions can be taken.
Yeah, it's very interesting because it shows a lot of opportunities immediately for the, let's say, the connected home or the residential smart home, but brings as well maybe in the future more opportunities as well for the enterprise market as different applications.
Yeah, we see an opportunity in enterprise and hospitality for Wi-Fi motion growing in the future. We focused on residential initially, but we're very much exploring hospitality use cases as well as additional elder care and smart home applications in the future.
Makes total sense. One other question, Georgie, you guys have been very involved in WBA over the last years. Maybe you could spend a few minutes just sharing what you gain as cognitive systems, the benefits of being in an organization like WBA. I imagine that you guys are active in other bodies as well.
Yeah, well, Cognitive has gained a lot through the WBA membership since going back a few years ago and starting the Wi-Fi Sensing group with support from Intel and CDOT, which has grown to over 200 participants and led to really broad awareness of Wi-Fi sensing and Cognitive's Wi-Fi motion in the industry. And so the associations we've built through the WBA have really helped accelerate things. So the white papers and the participation of people on like Cable Labs in terms of testing Wi-Fi sensing has really helped accelerate things in the industry. And one example would be the work in the sensing group has created awareness in the IEEE, leading to the voting in of 802.11bf, which was voted in last fall. So we see this as a tremendous opportunity to continue to accelerate things. And we need industry collaboration to make Wi-Fi sensing become available in every home in the world.
Yeah, it has been a terrific journey, and I want to congratulate Cognitive Systems and all the team for the efforts, because building up something almost from one idea until an industry standard takes a lot of effort and many time and lots of expertise. Let me ask you, Geordie, where do you see this technology going in 5 years from now? So you already mentioned that you expect to see it in every single home, but where this technology can take us?
Well, we get asked all the time, can Wi-Fi do X, Y, or Z? And the simple answer is almost always yes. With machine learning and data analysis, there's going to be unlocked future possibilities that we haven't even thought of today. But really the likely next growth and the logical next growth is in the hospitality and enterprise sectors. And additionally, we also think there's Wi-Fi motion can be the foundational layer for smart home context in terms of making the smart home simplified in terms of user experience. So not having to leverage things like using verbal commands to make things happen in your home, but learning the patterns of your behavior and taking automatic actions like turning the lights on before you even enter a room.
Geordie, one other use case that can be quite interesting is the ability of this fall detection capability. So it's something coming up on your roadmap?
Well, speaking of fall detection, we get asked about all the time, is Wi-Fi motion and Wi-Fi sensing capable of detecting falls reliably enough to bring a solution to market today? And the answer that we see from what we've been doing in our R&D labs and what we've tested with service providers is right now, Wi-Fi motion and Wi-Fi sensing is not mature enough to bring falls to market. But we do see other complementary technology that can be brought through partnerships that are very complementary and can offer reliable fall detection. And those are technologies such as millimeter wave. And the main reason for Wi-Fi sensing not being able to provide falls today is specifically that measurements must be performed at a very high sampling rate, which will negatively impact the performance of Wi-Fi without specific dedicated hardware for this use case. And so Cognitive really views this as an opportunity to provide Wi-Fi motion as the foundational layer for aging in place, and then partner with companies that are doing technologies like millimeter wave to detect falls in a very specific focused area in areas of the home. For example, if you just look at these two pictures, on the left is really what Wi-Fi sensing sees if you were using an analogy of vision. And so we're seeing basically a holistic view of all motion activity everywhere in the home, leveraging just the IoT devices that are connected to your access point. If you look on the right, which is Wi-Fi sensing plus technologies such as millimeter wave, there is a circle there on the stairs with a dedicated hardware device that is really providing high resolution in terms of falls at a much higher sampling rate. And when you pair them together, there's an opportunity for an affordable solution that provides holistic whole home monitoring for elder care with room-specific fall detection offered through millimeter wave.
Geordie, thank you so much for sharing your thoughts about Wi-Fi motion. Definitely fantastic work from you and your team and the Cognitive Systems. Definitely from WBA side, we want to continue to support you guys and make this Wi-Fi motion a tremendous success. And like you said, bring Wi-Fi motion to every single house in the world. Thank you so much, Geordie.
Thank you for having me. I think the final thought I would say is collaboration is key, and the participation in the WBA as well as chipset partners is really what's going to accelerate things in terms of Wi-Fi motion being brought to every home in the world in the next 5 to 10 years.
Fantastic, Geordie. Thank you so much. Always a pleasure to talk with you. Thank you.